Hi, this is Jimmy with the Nashville Demo Studio, here with Devin Bell and Mickey Kelly, two of Nashville's most popular demo singers. We use them a lot here. And we wanted to talk to you today and get their opinions on how to work with a demo singer in the studio, what to expect of them, etc., etc. The first thing that we wanted to talk about was kind of writing with the demo singer in mind, with the demo in mind. There's a couple things that you should keep in mind. I think, Devin, we were talking before about the gender when you're thinking of demo singers, like if you're writing for a male or female. Did you want to talk about that?
Yeah, for us to sing the demo, it's helpful if, whenever you're recording your work tape of it, whether it's going to be for a male or female vocal, to just record it in whatever key is comfortable for you. And we will, figure out the key that will, sound best for us as well. You don't have to try and, if you're a male, you don't have to try and, sing up in falsetto and sing, crazy high stuff. Just make it whatever's comfortable for you. That way, when we get it, we're able to interpret that into, our own kind of keys.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing that we do here at Nashville Demo Studio, and any studio in Nashville is, probably anywhere, is when you're working with a demo singer, you guys rekey the songs. Meaning that we send a work tape to you guys from the writer, and you guys get back with us on what key that you guys want us to cut the tracks in.
That's actually the very beginning of the process. We get the the song from the songwriter comes to the studio, and then it is sent via email over to us. We sit down, either it's a guitar, or Devin's very adept at picking keys herself. She plays several instruments, and we'll sit down, pick the key with either our guitar, make sure that it's in a comfortable key, and go from there, for whether it's with the songwriter or ourselves. The most important thing for us to be able to do to make it sound good for you is to pick a key that we're comfortable with. If it's not in a key that we're comfortable with, then
it's not
eventually, it's not going to sound as good, and you won't be as happy with it.
Right, so picking a key and cutting it in the key that best suits your vocal is going to be the best thing for the overall demo.
Yeah, absolutely.
And being in a comfortable key for us makes it easier for us to, do stylistic things that are going to make it sound a lot, runs and things like that can really kind of make it sparkle a little bit more. And that's a lot easier if it's in a key where we can really, reach those notes. Because if it's too high or too low, it makes it a lot harder.
And speaking of too high or too low, we've had a couple instances here, I know with you, Devin, where sometimes the melody is written in such a way that a writer wants to show range on a song, but sometimes it's so rangy that
it's almost impossible to
do. You who has a huge range is having a hard time, hitting the really low and the really high notes. So what advice would you have for writers as far as if they want a rangy song, like what's the best approach to take when writing that melody, when keeping the demo in mind?
Well, I would say, obviously it's easier, if you are a singer and you're, writing this song, it's a little bit easier to kind of know what range might be comfortable for someone. But, depending on the singer that you want, and everybody sort of has different ranges, but, feel free to write, a rangier song, but make sure that you can at least sing it, even if you don't have a wide range or whatever. If you pick someone who does, you can stretch a little beyond like what's in your own comfort zone, but just don't do it, 2 or 3 octaves, apart.
There's actually been several clients of yours that we've worked with. In fact, in my own case, that the client would ask me, or the songwriter would ask me, hey, can Mickey reach this key, or can he say within the scale of what their chorus is in, which either the chorus or the bridge is going to be the highest point in your melody. They're very considerate and make sure that we know and that we can reach it, which is very helpful to us in the process of making sure that your song sounds the best.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so don't be writing, if you want to write a song that's 4 octaves in range, know that you're going to be very, very limited in a singer that could sing that.
Yeah, so, because there's not many that that can without going into more of the classical operatic sort of voice, which in pop music you're not going to really want
Right.
that. So
Or in country music.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. Okay. Another thing that that I think is really important is to think about stylistically who you're casting in the song.
Mhm.
So I always tell writers, when you're choosing a demo singer, it's like casting for a movie. So you have to look at, what's the genre of the song, who is the character in the song. If it's if it's written in first person, you want to make sure that you're casting a singer that can emote the story.
sure. And even who if you do have someone in mind that you're pitching it to,
Right.
who would most sound like them, or
Absolutely. The selection of a singer, depending on who you're pitching the song to, is extremely important.
Yeah.
It's if say for example if you have a song that absolutely lends itself to a Trace Adkins thing or a Toby Keith thing that is going to be so very country that you absolutely have to have somebody that sounds like that, then you're going to pick somebody like Trent Jeffcoat, or you're going to pick somebody that lends themselves to that type of vocal,
Right.
instead of going out of reach of what somebody might be able to do. It would behoove you to pick somebody that absolutely can do
Right.
absolutely that thing, that when you hear their voice on their MySpace page or their Facebook or whatever, you hear their voice on your song.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can hear that record label guy or that publisher going, man, I really hear this for Trace Adkins, or I really
Right.
hear this for Brad Paisley, or whoever your target is to get that song to. It's extremely vital.
But
Yeah.
wouldn't both of you agree that at the same time, and you both are writers here and write with big writers here all the time in Nashville, and you're both artists, you do your own thing as well, but you're both pitching songs just like any writer here.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that when you're doing the demo and you're picking a singer, and when you get in the studio with that singer, like for instance, a lot of people choose you, Devin, for Martina McBride-ish type of songs because your vocal lends itself to that. Wouldn't you say there is a line though where you don't want to start impersonating the artist?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like it's okay to push the demo and to get that and to choose a singer that's stylistically in the range of Martina McBride, but you want to be careful that you're not, trying to sound exactly like Martina McBride, or Martina wouldn't say it that way, or
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And another thing that I try to tell people too that are, because I recommend a lot of you guys. Some of our clients go, well, I'm not sure, who do you think would sound best with a song? And I'll listen to the song and make suggestions. As far as singers go, one thing I always try to tell our writers is that it's important to not go too far one way or the other. Try to keep the demo a little in the middle so that you're not limiting the pitches.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, for instance, like if they wanted a Martina McBride, we don't want to produce it in such a way that it's
Only for Martina.
Yeah, you couldn't pitch it to anybody
Absolutely.
else. And is that something that you guys think about too when you're in the vocal booth singing?
Well, yeah, versatility is something that it is an amazing. The ability to walk into a vocal booth and do your own thing, and think about, okay, yes, there's an absolute. We want to pitch it to this artist, right?
Right.
But when you hire Devin or myself or any of the other Nashville Demo Studio singers, we walk into the vocal booth and we think, okay, I would like to do this my way. But we read the production notes is where we start off. We read the production notes and we go, how would I sing this song the way that I would sing it? And then lend myself to how Trace Adkins or Rascal Flatts or whoever you're trying to pitch the song to would sing it, and then at the same time try to think about the best thing for the song. Don't you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I think that really is kind of what it all comes down to when you guys are in the vocal booth is, you guys are thinking what's the best for the song. And some of the other things that I know both of you do that most really great demo singers do is you try to make that song your own.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, I know that that's a fine line you guys walk, because you have a melody that a writer wrote that you definitely want to respect and that you want to stick to, but you also want, your job as a singer is to take it to another level, to really make it your own and to sell the song. I always say a good demo singer will sing your melody. A great demo singer will sell your song back to you. What are some of the thoughts that you guys have on that, as far as expanding on someone's melody and that line that you guys walk?
Yeah, I mean, as creative people, and as writers, we're all creative as singers. Obviously, like for us, it's important to be able to sing the song how we feel it, and it's going to come across that way, in the recording, if we can, if we can take liberties to some extent. Obviously, we don't want to change the song and make it something that you don't want, but for me, when I get a song and I'm like, oh, I would love to do, this, run or whatever on this part, or, just, I don't know, stylistic stuff, it makes it a lot more fun, but also I think it enhances the song, a great deal, to be able to sing it how we hear it, to an extent. And I mean, whatever singer that you choose them because of the songs that you hear that they're doing, and so obviously you like something about the things that they like to do. So to some extent, I hope that we can continue to kind of put our own sort of style into the demos and stuff that we do.
You have the ability to. Myself, especially, I find that if I'm turned loose just a little bit, we don't ask for free rein, because we're looking to do the best for the song always. Yeah. But when you're allowed to do your thing, just like the musicians, you expect them to do something greater than what you would do yourself, and that's why you come to Nashville Demo Studio. Yeah. So when we get in the vocal booth, we get in there with the idea of, after we've heard the song, and we get to be turned loose a little bit, you're going to wind up with more emotion, more feel, more everything, if we get to apply a little bit of our own spin, what we would do as artists on the song. So I think you're absolutely correct. It's an amazing thing.